Hello class, you will watch 10 watercolor techniques being painted. I'm going to narrate just to clarify some of the things that you see in the video. So let's get started. You will need a couple different size brushes, a sponge, salt, and we keep salt in little plastic cups, so you just take a pinch of salt at a time. We actually won't be using plastic wrap, so don't worry about that. Instead of a nail, too, we'll use a paper clip edge. Of course, your primary watercolors. Paper towel as well. And you actually won't need a mixing tray because you can just use the straight up colors as they are. So the first box there is dry brush. And what this should look like is a marker that's going bad. And the sponge, there are a couple ways you can do the sponge. You can paint the sponge as you see there, or you can dunk the sponge in the paint. Do 2 layers. Salt. This one's fun. Now, you don't need to have 2 colors like he does here. You choose either red or blue, and I will tell you, the darker the color, the better the effect of the salt. So we don't use yellow at all for this one. So just coat it with a thick color of solid paint, either red or blue, and then just add, he's sprinkling it on, but just add a pinch of salt to it and let it be. Again, like I said, we're not doing plastic wrap. The splattering is just how it sounds. You can tap the brush or you can flick the bristles. And on to shading. Yes, you do need to draw a tree. So imagine that the light source in relationship to the tree is in the upper left of the tree, and so of course that's why he's putting the shading, the shadowy side, on the right side of the tree. So you'll do just as you see here. Practice that, just laying down a solid, bold, thick color of line. Use blue or red on the right side, assuming the light source is on the left. And then once you lay down that thick line of shadow, you go back in and completely rinse your brush off. And so what he's doing when he goes back up to spread the shadow out is he's working with a completely clean brush. Graded wash. Graded as in gradation, as in gradual. So graded in art means, well, it is about gradation, and that just means the gradual movement from dark to light or light to dark. Now that would be enough. You can see on the top of that box it's dark and then it fades out. It's like a fade. It's like an ombre. Doing 1 color is fine. You don't have to add 2 colors like he did. Stippling. So I like to really use a lot of thick paint here. You're just basically dotting the paper. And I like my dots to look a little more uniform than this. But I do want you to lay at least 2 different colors over each other during the stippling. Scratching, you're going to scratch in a design. It could be a word, it could be a picture. Only you're scratching it in with a paper clip edge, the point of a paper clip, and then go over it. Again, darker colors work best for this, so choose either red or blue. Wet on wet, finally, you're simply adding paint to the edge of a clean puddle of water. So at first he just laid down a clean puddle of water, and then you dip your brush in the paint. And I like to do my technique a little differently. I'd like to just like poke the edge of that little puddle and pull back immediately and watch the water just pull in the paint, like spreads it out like a tie-dye. That's a really cool effect. So really, that's it. There you have it, those techniques. And what I want you to do is at the bottom of your paper, you see there's some white space. I want you to draw in actually 2 more rectangles, one at the bottom of the left-hand column and one at the bottom of the right-hand column. And I want you to either invent your own technique or repeat a favorite technique of the 10 that you've experienced, or combine a couple of techniques. I don't care, whatever you do, get creative and add in the added 2 boxes. So your first column will have 6 boxes, as will your second column. So happy exploring. These are techniques that you will carry forward into your watercolor projects. More to come on that later. Enjoy.